Excellent. So, good morning, Boker Or. Good morning to the light, and light is a really good word for today. Or in Hebrew means light, to see sunshine, to get the light of understanding something, or even skin. And with skin, I'm just going to have some water. The name skin, you want to keep your skin so you can feel. So you can feel like the warmth of the sun or the coolness of autumn, and feel the light so that your muscles, your tendons can be aware all through you that you're breathing, that you're moving. And so it's a great word. We just finished, so everyone is in their purest form. We just finished these beautiful high holidays of Rosh Hashanah, the 10 days of awe, and Yom Kippur, where we have said our saris, done our teshuvah, come back to our soul, and what our intention in life is to be. Hopefully, we can set the path going now in a more joyous way. We have a clean slate. We're being reborn. We're new again for this new, beautiful year. And I think the biggest thing besides nurturing and taking care of ourselves is to find our own gratitude and joy. That is not always easy, considering the times that we are living through with all of the pandemic and the staying at home and finding ways to still connect to family and friends. So that's, our gratitude, whatever way we can. We're very grateful for what we do have. All of us live in a nice structure where we have a roof and climate control to keep us warm or cool. And this is the time where we think towards those who cannot. And we remember our own history. It is coming towards Sukkot. Sukkot is our holiday of where we are commanded to have some joy, but we're also told to go build these little booths, these little huts, and not only to build them, but to actually dwell, whatever that means to each of us, maybe have a kiddush or a little bit of challah in one of them, or to actually sleep in your sukkah. And that's not easy. A lot of us are very modern liberal Jews. We're not out there building our Sukkot. So how do we interpret that? First one is just get outside, which I think all of us are doing. Get into nature, notice the changes and feel them. When we talk about the change in nature, oh, there's someone waiting in the waiting room. There we go. When we talk about the change in nature, it's not nature only outside, it's us too. We are not just thinking of that's nature. We are nature. We are natural creation. And we're going to go through the same feelings like the obvious is the trees, where the roots kind of are pulling in and finding whatever they can through the atmosphere. And they are also starting to pull in their limbs and kind of come inward, getting ready to just shed. So what we can do with that is, just to make sure that we have supplies, that we're ready. And then also to begin to rest and take care of yourself. So I'm going to ask us to start by sitting down on the ground, if that's available. If the ground is not, you can sit on a stool or a chair. The point right here is we're going to get a little closer to grounding to the soil and feeling ourselves coming into that feeling of gratitude for what we have, that we live in these structures, that most of the world or so much of the world doesn't even have a place like that. So many people that are having temporary homes like our ancestors when they were wandering through the wilderness had to build a little sukkah, little booth. So gently sitting on the ground, I have 2 blankets. And I folded them just kind of nice and soft fold. I have them long so that my whole body will be able to roll down and relax into the blanket. And I'm trying to create a feeling of gentle grass or the ground cuddling us or pulling us in for a feeling of renewal. Okay, so the feelings that we all have are a lot of energy right now, and it's kind of funny the way the holidays are built in. So the best way to start to get this happiness is to start to bring a little arch behind your shoulder blades, just kind of bring the shoulder blades forward. And that lifting of your lungs and your heart and your soul always makes us happier. It's kind of like the smile of the body. And then gently, right above the pubis bone, which is another nice smile bone, you want to kind of pull your belly in so that you lift your pubis bone upward and then roll your shoulders. Big breath. Breath is always our connection and our choice for having goodness in life. Gently closing the eyes and feeling our seat, our pelvis on the ground. And that we have the ability to take our feet and actually press through the heels to the foot to press down, giving you a grounding. Then take your fingers and gently roll the top of the shoulder back and just lifting your spinal column. So we really want to connect now. We've done a lot of stretching together where we lift our spine and lifting your sternum and lifting your eyes and maybe parting your lips gently. And then just softly trying to keep your feet where they're grounded. So you might have to move a little to feel okay on the ground or in your chair, to sit up without dropping the rib cage. So for here, I am so thankful for my lower body, and I bring it in to support me. Now letting go right here, a little bit of the abdominals to go inward gives me a support right here in the lower sacral ilium area. Softening the knees in and out can release all those like flexor muscles around the legs, and we can be thankful that we are learning how to let go a little bit, to not always be in that fight or flight mode in the body. And now just gently start to roll down. So take your time, readjust your hands, turn the fingers, bend just the elbows and see if you're able to gently keep your feet down. Open the collarbones, lift the shoulder blades slightly forward, and then contract the lower belly. So you're creating a little undulation in your body, a little shaking, a little tilting and taking up and lifting as you start to bring your sacral plate, your lower backbones down. Then maybe come over here, walk your feet a little closer to your blanket area, lift your bottom towards the edge, and just gently, like you're sunbathing on a summer beach, just take a moment, press your forearms down. See how that can also lift your back body. And the memory of a nice moment on a vacation can bring happiness into your soul. And it even takes more happiness when you think about those others that you spent your happiness time with, loved ones, grandchildren, children, friends, and then relax down to the ground. Take breath in and breathing out. And just gently readjust your feet, readjust your pelvis, tilt your head so softly from side to side, feeling the connection of letting the bones, the etzem, the essence of you drop into our little grounding base that we've created. And if you don't want to use blankets, if you're just laying down on your yoga mat or your rugs or your floors, you still just get that feeling of being carried by the earth. And breathing in and breathing out. There are a couple of creation stories, and one of them is that we are created from the earth and that Adonai blows air into us through our nostrils and our mouth, giving us life. So that connects us to the upper sphere of the heavens, spirituality, where we all send our strivings to, and then brings us completely down to earth where we live. So a lot of people have told me that they have some pain in their psoas muscle, the muscle that comes from your leg through your hip into your lower back. We're just going to do a little movement to help relieve that. So first of all, feel the soles of your feet down. Drop your lower back a moment, and then think of the back of the shoulder blades coming down, and lengthen your neck so that your chin can just center over your heart. And I'm just going to start by saying right from here, kind of open your arms wide, press them also into the ground, and then breathe in. On the breathe out, lift your knee just ever so slowly and gently so it comes right up, almost like it's sitting in a chair. And then soften the right foot. So we're all bringing up our right leg first. And now think about this. Can you drop the top of that right pelvis down to the blankets? Can you drop the right shoulder blade down? And feel the left foot down and the back of the left hip. And just feel so much more in control of your own self then. And then slowly start to put that right foot back on the ground. Breathe out any excess. Go, ha. And then press into the right foot. See how much of your back body, you've been down on the ground for quite a few minutes now, that you can feel the back of your body and let that relax into the ground. Pressing the right foot with a little more strength, allowing the left knee to just float up and feeling the crease where the leg goes into the pelvis. And then allow your head to roll from one ear or one side of your eyes to the other side. So you're rolling on the back of your skull. Breathe in, bring your face center, and put your foot down. And just take a moment and release your abdominals so that you really can, again, drop the lower quadrant, the lower half, the lower body, whichever way you refer to your body. Find your fingers and feel the tips of the front of the hips and drop your chin and widen your collarbones. Take breath in. Feel the abdominals rise and breathe out. Feel them relax. So you can do a gentle tilting. You want to tilt your body, which causes the front body to lift and arch as you tilt your body to your tailbone. And you could lift your chin now upwards and then bring your chin down and bring the pelvis and the rib cage back down. Now I invite you to do that on your own. It's kind of a gentle rocking of the torso, rocking of the head, the feet press and release. You can widen your chest up with a breath. Breathing out, let everything come back down and sink into the blankets. One more time on your own, just arching down with the tailbone, back with the head and neck, and a breathing out to let everything settle. Great. Bring your right knee in again and just start to gently lift both arms to hug that right femur bone towards your body, lifting both elbows and feeling the length of the spine centered, strong, and letting the muscles on the left and the right of the spinal column have a break. Release breath. Go under the right thigh with your fingers just on the back of your hamstrings and push or reach your right foot away from you till it lengthens. Feeling the muscles of the hamstrings into your fingers, opening up a little bit more space, slowly letting it come. And release that right knee into you and put your foot down. One of my yoga teachers is Diane Bloomfield. She is in Jerusalem, and I just really enjoy our connection of our yoga classes. And she was mentioning that we might have finished the big teshuva, the big turning. Hold onto your left leg here and feel your fingers go into the left hamstring of what we have to fix and change. But the simpler teshuva, the changing that we do to ourselves, is so much like the yoga we do always discovering something new, something that can stretch a little more, or a deeper place where your breath can go to make us feel more connected to our mind, body, and soul. So now bring both knees in, and this should feel delicious. Just gently, you're just rocking your knees slowly back and forth, doing a massage for your lower back. The blankets or the ground are supporting you. Notice what's going on in your rib cage and see if you can breathe east and west, which means left and right. It also could mean north and south, letting your whole rib cage and your belly expand towards the ceiling, the heavens, and then release downwards, maybe south towards the ground. Open your knees gently so that you can come like to this gentle little frog pose, and see if you can lift your feet a little bit and just rocking where your legs are going in and out of the inner area of the hips, going in the legs, and the outer area where the outer femur bone goes into the pelvis. And then just gently lift your feet and kind of shake them up towards the heavens, circling your ankles. You can always do this 1 foot at a time, 1 foot up and shake and turn, then the other one. And you notice even separating one leg from the other, we're connected at the pelvis. So try to take both legs up and circle them around, moving from the hips. This feels so yummy. And releasing the back body into the blankets. Great. Take breath, just hug them in again. Drop the back of the rib cage down, soften the chest. Easy does it. Bringing the left foot down, the right foot down, and just noticing that you might feel like you can lengthen. So we're going to press both feet down and begin to press into the ground and lift up the pelvis. So we're lifting up, so you can see I can put my hands through here and just lift the hips towards the knees, creating a bridge pose from the upper body, lifting the pelvis. Keep your upper ribs on your blankets around the ground, and then slowly from your solar plexus, pull inward. Feel the breath go out as you bring your long spine down to the ground. Take breath, lift your fingers up, lengthen. So right now we're kind of in that Lamed pose where there's a triangle in the knees down and the arms are reaching long and away. And gently, very gently, just bring your knees in and curl over to slowly bring yourself around and sit up. And come to sit on your blankets. I'm just going to check to make sure that we are all in class. It's time to see if anyone's, yeah, we have One more coming in. All right. Welcome. I'm sorry for the waiting room today. We have this set up in a different way. So now I just invite you all to sit on your blankets. And I just want to go over how we just moved gently and slowly to waken the spine, to waken our hips, our limbs, to roll your head side to side. We are, and here's my prop for today, we're coming towards the holiday of Sukkot. And Sukkot, like I was saying, is the holiday that reminds us that we left Mitzrayim, we left a narrow place, we left Egypt, and we are now entering into the wilderness, is what happened in the story that leads us towards the remembrance of Sukkot. In the wilderness for 40 years, we lived a very fragile life, not knowing what the elements, the weather, where the food would come from. So there was a lot of celebration when finally those times of the wilderness were over and they entered the promised land. That's so metaphoric for our life and our journeys. Sure, we're all trying to leave whatever constrictions we all have, try to figure them out and have freedom within our own lives. We are also trying to understand that life is fragile. We've all experienced that with the pandemic. We've all experienced that with our political issues going on. We all are feeling that in all of the trying to understand the systemic racism or the feelings that we have for our own privilege. So all of that can relate to our feelings of constant teshuvah, constant learning and moving forward. And that's exactly what yoga is all about, discovering your own body and how to find more strength and gratitude within it. So I just want to go over the image. This is supposed to represent the palm leaves, long and straight like our spines. Then we have the 3 myrtle or hadass leaves, which are shaped like our eyes so that we can really focus outward, inward, see injustice, understand it, comprehend, and have an understanding of Mevinah. And then we have the willow leaves, and those are like our lips, nice and long and thin, so that the words that we speak will also help create a better world, and that we're able to stand up and speak out when needed or give compassion and love. And that's where we come to our citron, our etrog, which in the Torah says it comes from the beloved Hadar, the goodness tree. And that represents like our heart and our soul. So on Sukkot, we are commanded to build these booths, to go into them. So I invite you to come stand. I'm going to move my blankets away for a moment. And to stand in your Sukkot, your Sukkah, your body. Putting your 2 feet here on the earth, feeling where the weight is. Maybe you could stand with the feet together and see the difference. Rotate the thighs inward as we talk about that inward feeling of ourselves and the inwardness of nature to go in and find the seed and plant it and blossom and grow. And together at your heart, so I'm just going to show you with my prop what we do. We shake in every direction. There are 6 directions that we're capable of doing, which would be front to the right. So if you take your hand with me, you can go front and to the right. And then we go front again, maybe, because whatever's in front of us is where we are going. And then go over to the left. And then you can take yourself behind you. So that's always a stretch. We do a lot here, and that's those opening that heart, reminding that you don't want to shut down what you've learned, where you've come from. You want to incorporate that. And that's the beauty of the behind you. Then up where our prayers go, and then bringing that all into the ground, towards the earth, where we hope more this season will have rain, everything will grow, and the crops will be good. And then we have that inner core of ourselves, and that would be our final, our seventh direction, is to breathe, feel, maybe do a little circle, a little undulation. So I'm going to put this down and talk about a little bit more of how we put all that into our body and how it becomes our way of living. First of all, there is a happiness, a joyful pose in yoga. It's a breathing pose where you breathe in for 3 breaths with your nose. So come a little closer, you breathe in. So everyone try that. Just breathe in your nostrils, 3. And then breathe out your mouth for a 4th one. And there's a movement that goes with it where you would come arms up, arms away, arms up, and down to the ground. So I'm just going to tilt my camera so you can see me when I rise up a little more. There we go. So it would be breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and then bring your body down and shake it out and breathe out. Nice forward fold, forward bend. Slowly bringing your hands away from you. You can watch them with your eyes. Bring your hands into your heart. And here we go again. We want to breathe in. We want to breathe out. Oops, sorry. We go back. It's 3 breaths in, then and out. So you breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and now breathe out. And you can feel as your body opens up in the joy, and then roll it up. Bring your hands to your heart like an etrog coming into your heart and soul. And again, breathing in 3 times. So we breathe in, up, breathe in, out, breathe in, up, and let it all come down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just kind of sway and slowly feel your inner core just rolling you up. You are like the Lulav. The Lulav is all of these 4 arba'im minim, all of these 4 species that are connected together. These also represent 4 different kinds of souls. Those who have wisdom, those who need others to give them wisdom, those who have sight, those who need others to help them learn and see, those who have sweetness, and all of it together. So it's just so many beautiful, beautiful metaphors. So gently just swaying from side to side. The whole direction is to try to connect to your body, to feeling that in your deep self is your soul, and you are connecting to who you are. And as you reach away, you're maybe connecting to us across the virtual reality here, or maybe to God, to Adonai. And then also, let's all reach up. Bring your arms in, reach up nice and long, feel your heels on the ground. See if you can start to feel that you can drop your shoulders, drop the pelvis back a little bit, bring the hands together to your heart softly. And we do like this little, I call it the Baruch pose, where you just kind of bend and pray. So you kind of bend your knees, feel the softness, roll back, bend. And we're also told that at Sukkot, you want to remember your ancestors. In Yiddish, it's a beautiful word. It's your ushputzim. And it means those that came before you, those that helped to create who you are, and never to forget their soul and who they were. So in Torah, so stand like a Torah, nice and straight and reaching up. and feel that you can reach up with your left side, reach up with your right side, back and forth, and really feel that you can bend and open up your shoulder blades. We have our obvious fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and in Kabbalah, we put all of these characters into places on the Eitz Chaim, the Tree of Life. So for us, that would be the right shoulder representing and the whole right arm. So just circle your right arm. That would represent in the Eitz Chaim love and kindness. We call that chesed. And take your arm backwards. So it's like moving that lulav and the etrog in all directions. You want to bring love and kindness. Take it to the right, bring it across you. Feel how good that feels. So that's putting the yoga into it. Bend, feel the legs bend. Love and kindness. And once you've dipped into one of these values in the Tree of Life, they're with you. So now we go to Isaac. So that would be representing in the males. Now there's females also that represent all of these, but just to give you an idea, would be representing the left side, Gevurah. It is your strength, your might within the boundaries of who you are, what this body is that you've got on earth, and how you think and where you go. And so you want to move that left arm and expand it around, in, and then bring it into for an understanding. Taking the left and the right together gives you your Tiferet, your inner, where your lungs, your throat, your voice, your mind and body connect. And that's what we work on, to feel a stretch of joy, the balance of joy. So you can even take a strap, if you all have a strap right now. We're going to work on the top sphere of the Tree of Life. And just to show you, that is part of Sukkah. Sukkot goes into that whole Kabbalah understanding that we connect to the top of our Tree of Life, which is where we get ideas, understand knowledge, wisdom, understanding, connecting it, and then it's these other spheres. We put those into the body so that we have those values in us if we dip into the well, dip into it, and pull them out. So ways to do that in the modern world are to use a strap, maybe take a part of it, and lift up. And you can feel that isometric pull as you pull yourself upward. Great. And then gently see if you can take that strap behind you. So you're working with your loving kindness, you're working with your strength to bring beauty, compassion, balance through your chest and your heart. And take a moment and notice if your feet are rolling out, if you can drop them straight down to the earth. Take breath. Notice if you can drop your tailbone down and maybe press the front of your thighs back into the hamstrings. Feels so much more powerful. And let it go. And freedom. So we can now take a little bit of this down to the ground. So I'm going to just use one blanket as a place for my knees. Here we go. And here I am creating in my body another shape like a sukkah. The word sukkah begins with the letter samech, which is a complete circle connecting. And we're able to do that with ourselves, and by reaching out to each other, we're connecting. Then it's also got the kaf, which is like a three-sided walls. So you can see one here, my torso, and then the legs. So from here, I just want to do a little bit of the lower body connecting to the upper body by doing a gentle little curve like a cat. Pulling your tailbone through, letting your upper body go back today. Then walking your hands up. We just opened up the soul, the heart, lifting up gently like you're bringing your sternum through for the cow and the breath and the arch and the joy. And then gently curling it under, coming in and being grateful for all the seedlings, the crops, and then reaching away, and the cow is like the blossoming, the thank you, the harvesting. And do that a couple of times. So you breathe in when you arch, and you breathe out in the gentle contraction. And breathe in. And start with your tailbone, pulling your pubis bone back, your rib cage into your back, so the ribs really get a chance to go backwards and stretch across the back, and the head can drop. Softening your eyes, letting your lips and your jaw be free. And then last one. So right from here, we go into a downward dog pose, which is such a nice way to think about your house or your sukkah, your little booth, and you lift up and you can bend your knees. And the letter of this month is the Lamed. And if you use your imagination, which is really important to start waking up in all of us, we can see that we're making the shape right now with bent knees and a straight spine and reaching arms of the Lamed. Great. Then you can try to gently tread through your feet. And you can think about this in so many ways of reaching down towards the earth, yet the back is going up towards the heavens. The front of your body is relaxing and looking down towards the earth. The sides of the body, the left side, the right side, are learning to stretch and be a part of radiating outward into the world. Top of the head, gently lifting a little bit. There's a gentle arch in the upper body if you bring your sternum through, and come for some strength right here to the plank pose, where you reach your heels away from you. You can readjust your hands, or you can relax a moment. Let's all relax a moment. Take a moment for Shabbat. This Sukkot this year in 5781 opens up on this Shabbat, this Friday night. I'm going to invite you to take a block and relax your forehead. And let your third eye, that's our intuition eye of our brain, to just soften, relax the nervous system this way. You can have your feet soft. Now, if you have knee issues and this is impossible and excruciating or whatever, it's always okay to sit up on a chair or a stool and just dropping your body forward. You can use your own hands as a grounding. And here again, you just want to feel the stretch of both your sides. If you are up on two chairs, you can even sit on one chair and lean across to another chair. Always a way to do this. Feel good. Now we're going to reach our body out. I just want to go back and show you the shape of the Lamed again. So you see it's like a triangle going up and a triangle going down. And we make those often in our bodies. So many ways to connect. So on the ground, reaching out with a strong feeling of lifting your fingers forward, but letting your bottom relax back to your feet, lifting your sternum and your chest forward, feeling the breath come into you. And then maybe with these outstretched long arms, long spine, relaxed lower body, you can relax your upper body, starting with your forehead to the ground. Lift your fingers. And just feel the back of the shoulders, the length going down from the lower body, trying to drop down towards the heels. And breathe out. Then fold your hands back and you bring them towards your knees. You lift your face and you roll up. So this position might be hard also on the knees. So that's where I invite you to come sit on a chair or to sit on blocks. Show you. One block might not be enough, but 2 blocks might just put you where you can sit here and have that fold, that lightning bolt in you. Or you can just sit in a chair with your legs right down under you. Lift your arms up. You can hook your right thumb over your left and just feel that you can drop the tops of your feet into the ground. Sit back on the back of the sit bones. And notice if you can slightly move the rib cage to allow the feeling, like you're shaking your lulav, to lift your heart upward and let the jaw open. And you start to breathe into this body of a sukkah, this just temporary vessel that we are given, and release. So we take our loving kindness, our chesed, and our strength, our gevurah, and our beauty and our balance, and we bring it through the lower body. So for that, I'm just going to show you, you can use a stool or your blocks to bring your right foot forward. So starting with your right foot forward, you can start to feel the stretch or the stance or the power of the right leg to press down. The right hip, right side of your pelvis, we call netzach. And we give that feeling. Awesome. Beautiful. To Moses. Netzach is all about someone who is always there, moving forward, leadership, ready to go. We're always stepping forward. So see right here, if you're truly going forward, or if you're tilted, or if you can really feel that and press down with your right foot, feel the top of your left groin beginning to open. And then go ahead and find that arch of happiness by bringing your shoulder blades forward and have support by lifting the lower belly up. So it's not just a drop down pose. It truly is a lifting, kind of one of those diagonal reach up to the higher hemispheres to bring it down to earth. And this is a beautiful pose to stretch out your legs. And from here, you can do a little bit more opening of your right hip by using your blocks to come over to the left side and roll over on your left foot and press open. You can use your left arm. Another way to do that is to bring the block to your left hand, turn it down flat, reach your left leg back and lift the knee, press your left hand down under the shoulder and begin to open your heart. Turn your body for an opening twist. This is one of those continuing teshuvas, the continuing shaking of the lulav that goes on all year. Learning where focus can take you if you look. Learning if you breathe through mouth or through nose, and coming back to center. Gently going back to a moment of peacefulness, a little home. Widen your knees. You can have a block to relax the forehead. And dropping down. For gratitude, the pronation pose is always a thank you, a big baruch, a big praised and thank you pose. Resting the body with really letting the breath come out of you into the ground. Hoping that this ground will be wonderful and the seeds will grow and we'll have great harvest, and next year too, wonderful fruits and vegetables. Rock forward up to your body, and just before you go the other way, just circle the pelvis, really waking up that lower triangle, that lower part of our body that really is asking to be included with the upper part. And then go ahead and you can step your left leg forward, creating all these bent angles and triangles, using your blocks to lengthen the spinal column as you open the legs, the lower part of your body, allowing again for an arch and a blessing on top, reaching up, smiling, lifting up the pubis bone helps us to smile, bringing both shoulder blades forward and together helps us find happiness. Easy does it. Coming forward, walking the blocks now over to your right side and allowing this left leg to open in and out. Just moving it gently with a turn in and a turn out helps those hip flexors to release and relax. Taking one block to your right arm, you can actually use two to start. You might be more secure. If you have the availability, you lift your back right leg, or you can keep it down. It's up to whatever your level of fitness is today. And you open up your left hand, thinking about really bringing that left knee forward. The right one, if it's reaching back, you not only lift it backwards to the heel, but upwards in the hamstring. The quadricep is lifting to the femur bone. So when you open your heart in a big twist like this, you realize so many possibilities, that you have a lot of strength, that this beautiful body, though it's just here for our lifetime, is here. But that gorgeous essence of who you are, your soul, goes on through your friends, your children, your work. Come down gently. Slowly bring this left leg backwards. Easy does it. Coming down to the ground to be grateful and thankful. Releasing. You can open up your knees a little bit. And just feel how much closer you are towards the earth. Releasing between your shoulder blades, allowing the lungs to feel good. You can do a moment of 3-part breathing where you breathe in your nose, 3 points, go. And then breathing out completely, allowing yourself to drop. That's always available. That's one of the yoga techniques, just like we have other techniques in our Jewish world by studying Torah or learning the holidays. They all have metaphors, and in yoga, it's that breathing connection to that nefesh of the soul, the breath of chaim, of life. Gently just letting your head go also from side to side. Beautiful. I'm going to take us through a sun salutation, because that is exactly what the image of the lulav means to me and means to some happiness, is a real wake up of the body. So come to standing slowly. Once again, just do a little sway, allowing your head and your feet. Don't forget about your soul. So I just want to make sure I covered the lower 8 chaim points. The right side was netzach, going into the world always. The left side, we attribute that with like Aaron, Moses' brother, and that would be thankfulness. So just moving your left hip a little bit. And it also is joy, chodai, like you're always really happy to find out that you can move that other side, that other leg. And then a gentle tilt under and a release of the pelvis, letting this come down through the ankles and the feet. And that would be your foundation, your yasod. We talk about Joseph like that. He knew where he came from, even when he was living in Egypt. He knew that he was Jacob's son, and he had his children blessed, and they lived in the diaspora of that time. And then finally, our feet. So just go back and forth the way that we walk out in the world. Now that we are all feeling ready to move, Our feet are attributed to David, King David, the kingdom, who was a complete everything scholar, warrior, lover, a poet, connected to God, to others, and that is Malchut, the way you speak, what you say, and how you move in the world. So for a sun salutation, to be grateful to the sun and also to the moon, we rise up from our heart, lift up, breathe in, and gently, just open your arms softly. We're just going to do the upper body a moment and breathe out, allowing the shoulders to drop, the pelvis to drop. And now breathe in, and we fold forward. You can bend your knees if that's available to you. Feel your ankles bend and come on down to the ground with your hands. Blocks or a chair, they're fine to be your ground. And then drop your head. So you allow all of that feeling to come downward. Then you reach out forward to where we hope to be going, and we lift our heart so our sternum comes through, and then we come back down. So this is just a very simple sun salutation. You can just jump or walk your legs backwards to a plank for strength, to feel, and you can rock back and forth. Feel that you can twist, that your hands are under your shoulders. Breathe. You can push your hands away to lift your sit bones up, to create a bite, to create a sukkah, a home where you can just settle, bend your knees if it feels good, drop your feet if it feels good, lift your heart, then drop your head, and breathe. And then again, rock forward to your plank. Slowly bring your knees down, bending the elbows backwards and keeping them by your sides. You can release your feet as you feel that cobra, that arch, as you come down to the ground. And then you can use your hands as your pillow, your little sword, your soft rock on the earth. And breathe in, soften your eyes, soften your lips, soften your feet and your pubis bone, let your rib cage be down. Breathe out. Then we're going to bring our hands back by the sides of our chest, by our ribs, to do just what we call like a baby cobra. In a baby cobra, you don't use any strength of your hands. You just see if you can keep your feet down, you can bring them together, you keep your pubis down, and you see if you can lift your heart, your face, allow the shoulders to roll up. So my hands are not really a part of this. And that already brings us joy and lifting spirits and lifting our heart up to the heavens while our body is on the ground, our lower body, giving us stability and joy and creation, formation, understanding our kingdom. Roll back, lifting your heart. And here now, I really feel back in my happy sukkah. I'm thinking back to those ushpitzim of my own family. I invite my father, my uncle, my nephew, my friends to dearly come into my heart and soul as I, even in this fragile world with this body, remember them and rejoice. And then gently come on up and go back to grateful feeling again, pose of a child, dropping your forehead and feeling the ground with your eyes, your forehead, your third eye, I meant soften. Your nose can be lifted so you can breathe. And then gently rocking forward, coming into a downward facing dog, lifting your bottom, letting your head go down, back in your sukkah. So sukkah can be in existence with, it needs to have, it's good if it has 4 walls and an opening. Always the opening is the roof. And that's where I said we want to feel your skin. Feel the light that can come in by all this stretching and gentle moving, that you can feel, that you can breathe through your back, that in the top of your roof of your body, your back body right now, you can feel light or lightness or stretch or breath, whatever way you think of it. And you slowly rolling up, pressing your feet down, feeling your lower abdominals connecting to support that lightness in the back, in the neck, in the skull, in your legs. Lift up and release. The top of a sukkah always is natural, and the branches or the leaves always leave space so you can see the stars and the moon at night. And Sukkot is one of those wonderful festival holidays where we have a full moon. So I am going to have us bring our chair over to do our moon balance. And hopefully this Friday night, this holy Yom Tov of the first night of Sukkot, you will look up and see the beauty of the full moon. By doing a full moon, we start here. We can face our chair, and you can take your feet just in standing pose. And let's start with your right foot forward, take your left leg back. So both hips face front. The right leg is completely facing the knee to the chair. The left one is turned out about 70 degrees. The outer upper portion of your thighs, you want to feel. I'll show you forward. You don't want them turning in. You want them to pull gently away. The inner legs can come to support you. That's where the trochanter of the inner legs and the abductors can work in a different way to support you. Beautiful. All right, so back here. And easy does it. So feeling that connection to the moon. So you take this wonderful pose right here of warrior one, and we're not going to do it as a warrior. We're doing it as crescent shape, where you drop, you bring your pubic bone gently forward and upward, and you can bend your back knee if that feels better and stronger, and come here for full strength. Now, to take your arms forward on a diagonal and place them down in your chair. So you might have to readjust your right foot, and this we call kind of like airplane or the full moon pose, where you just take your back leg backwards, both your hips are facing your chair, and you just try here to extend opposite. So my left leg is back, my right arm is going forward. Lift the belly, lift the heart, flex the foot, and gently pull it in an opposite pull. Again, that's that Lulav feeling while you're connecting to the fullness of the moon, the fullness of your heart and soul. And extend the other leg away from you and come back, right standing up to your warrior one pose or your crescent shape with the left leg in front. The right leg is turned out only about a little bit, so the right foot is kind of going towards the corner of the mat, but the hips face the chair. So that really stretches out the front of the thigh. You can turn it parallel if that's easier for you. And you can bring your hands up in this crescent shape by pulling in the belly and allowing the heart to open, lifting up, noticing the moon or the sun, and gently putting your hands down and reaching your right foot away, trying to lift the lower body to support, opening the heart and the lungs, reaching the left arm away from you. So again, this is kind of like you can twist and turn. You can feel the fullness of this full moon pose, and you can bring your elbows to your knee here and stretch away. Pull it in again. These are all making that shape of the Lamed. The Lamed means that the heart understands the mind. Those are beautiful, beautiful connections in this month of Tishrei.
And gently just roll up, feeling the light in your back body, like it's opening. Feel the lightness in the top of the head. That is also our sky, our roof that we want to keep open to feel. Don't want to have your brain all congested and tight. Let's do those 3-part breaths again, where you breathe in for 3 and then out. Taking your Lulav arms, your Lulav body, and here we go. From your heart, lift up, lift up, lift up, and drop down to the earth. Breathe out. Hang. Roll it up. Take your arms behind you. As you come up, hands to the heart, trying to reach every direction for happiness and joy in this moment. And again, just gently breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and take it out. And this time coming forward, let's widen our legs. You can do this on a chair. You can widen your feet as wide as the mat. And take your hips over your feet and just reach that long torso forward. Lift the elbows so you feel the rib cage stretching and the hips pulled backwards. So you're pulling from the upper triangle to the lower triangle, feeling that your spinal column, it's shaped like the Hebrew letter Vav, is connecting. And release. Just to let you know, we're going to come sit in a chair for a moment. The challah shape is still throughout Sukkot is round. We're still in that point where we're thankful for the earth. So even in this gentle movement today, I think you all can feel that we've taken a lot in. Oh, let's go with the right leg over the left. Take your left hand to your right thigh or the top of your knee and sit back here so you have both sit bones down. And then see if you can square off your shoulders. Notice how the jaw will open. The hinge, soften the eyes. Great. So just gently keeping your left hand here, roll your right shoulder back and do a gentle twist in your chair. So even though you're turning your body only about 45 degrees forward on a diagonal, you're also pulling back on your left sit bone to give you a base where you can lift up your heart and sternum and smile. It's a great way to twist everything and open it and connect to your braided core. Like in a lulav, you put all of these branches together, all of these, but the bottom is all braided and twisted together to, again, show you that even with all our breaks and our separateness, even in our body, we are connected. All of the lower body connects into the pelvis. The pelvis then connects right up through the spinal column and the rib cage, and it continues right up through our shoulders, our neck and head. So here, take your right hand to your right leg and roll your left shoulder. Bring your navel only about 45 degrees forward and twist. Breathe out. Soften the neck and feel that foot on the floor, the soft foot over, the shoulders wide, the heart open, the length of the spinal column. Soften your eyes for feeling and seeing the world in reality. Soften inward to see yourself. Let your lips part. Lick your lips. Drink lots of water. We need to have mayim, water, chayim, for life. And come back. So from here to stand up, just press into your 2 feet, lean forward, and you'll see your pelvis just comes right up from the chair. You can bring your arms up. This is called the chair pose. You want to push your feet into the ground and feel that you do engage the lower part of your body to allow the spine to lengthen. You can pull the hips downward. And then the ribs, kind of bring them inward and outward and upward and backward and lift. And down to the ground for a Shavasana. If you can, please take one of your blankets and have it down on the ground. And we'll do some leg softening stretches so that our legs feel nice and lengthened. And again, just gently feel that you drop your pelvis inward and lift your sternum upward. Feel the feet on the ground and start to roll yourself down gently. And then see if you can rock back and lift the feet upward. More, you can pull the whole front of the body into breathing. So this is your roof now. And let the light come through. Bend the elbows, bring them together. That always helps. Little sunlight, little moonlight. Sit up nice and tall and straight. And then roll it gently back down to the ground. This is going to feel quite wonderful. To land with gratitude, you can move your body forward to the earth. If you have space in your blanket, you can put it under your neck or your head. And just sit here a moment and breathe, allowing that the back of the sacrum can drop, the top can go down, so the tailbone rises a little bit, putting you more grounded. You can drop the chin, so the back of the neck and the back of the shoulder blades and the vertebrae of the back release. And again, you can experiment with just moving your legs upward, each one, and then pulling them inward. Being grateful for your harvest, your gratitude for all your abundance that you have, including your emotions. How beautiful to feel, to love, to share, and to connect. Great, and just extend your left leg, pull your right leg in gently, move your shoulders, lift your elbows, allow the head, allow this right leg to flex and be strong into the left leg to be strong and flex into the ground, and then gently lift up the right and shake it upwards towards the heavens, soften it downward, bring the leg to you. Turn it outward, away from you, extend the foot, fold it in, turn it inward and across from you and extend your foot. Nice stretches. Allow your head and your body to rotate away from you. So here we have every direction on earth, every direction towards heaven, and every direction in all ways to connect to others. Gently pull your knee in, rotate in your hip socket. That feels so good. And around. This is the happiness class. Get happy to be ready for Sukkot. And put that foot down. Bring in your left leg. Rotate your head. Feel the neck is released. Extend your right leg and make it strong so that the heel can press down. The top of the quads can go into the bone and the hamstrings can widen. And just gently move around your left leg. Lift it upwards and shake out the left leg in all directions. Circle
the ankle in all 6 or 7 directions, counting the sole of your foot coming right through your body. Bend it in, take it away from you. Feel the gentleness and using the gluteals and the inner groin. Extend it, fold it in, bring it across. Let your other leg roll with you. You roll your upper body away. Extend this leg. I have a wall I can press into. That feels so good. And gently come back to center. Feeling you can drop your chin down to your heart so that the words you'll say today will remind you of loving kindness. Both knees in. Easy does it. Allow the rib cage to release, the head and the neck, making figure 8s or circles. Letting your upper body also get a massage, and then bringing your feet down. Give yourself a big hug, reaching across from left to right with opposite arms. Opening up your arms nice and wide, allowing the body to arch away. Pulling inward and crossing your arms the opposite way, reaching for your shoulders. Breath in. And now just let everything relax. You are in your moment of Shavasana. This Shabbat is considered the first day of Sukkot, and Saturday night is the second night of Sukkot, which should also be like a Yom Tov, a holy evening. So breathe in, breathe out. So you get a double day of experiencing all the things you would on a Shabbat, a little more restful, a little bit more dwelling outdoors in nature, connecting to loved ones, even those that are no longer with us. You guys release and stay on the ground, go deeper. I just wanted to mention that even though we read Leviticus, which tells us to be in the Sukkah, we also read from the book of Kohelet. And Kohelet is the story of, Kohelet goes through Sukkot with King Solomon. It's like a Megillah telling the story of everything has its time and turn, but do celebrate joy. There was a lot of questions on what is the value of life and always coming back to experience joy. The Birds, that great singing group, turned it into a song. This is based on Ecclesiastes. Turn, turn, turn. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant and a time to reap, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to laugh and a time to weep, a time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, and a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time for you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, and a time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, and a time to sow, a time to love, a time of hate, a time of peace. I swear it's not too late. A time for shalom, for peace. One of the most beautiful ideas of Sukkot is to spread over us the shelter of peace. And to me, I interpret that to take this warmth and this feeling of light and to extend it to all those who do need shelter and need our care. So we say with a blessing, come back to your Baruch pose, your prayer pose. And if you can gently sit up, if you curl over to your left or your right side and slowly come to a seated position and bring your hands to your heart for blessing, peace. Drop your shoulders, maybe lift your sternum. Center your lower body, connect all of your spine to your lower body and feel your legs on the ground. And let us chant together Shalom. 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 So I still say Shana Tova, Chag Sameach for Sukkot this week. I hope everyone dwells within their sukkah in the outdoors, and that we all have a beautiful, healthy, connecting week to our friends and family.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.